Wow, what a year. Felt like yesterday was 2022, and now it's almost 2024.
It went fast.
Fast year. This is a recap of 2023, a year in review, all the things that were memorable that happened this year. We're not going to hit on every last topic. I'm sure in the comments, if we miss anything, please let us know. But this is going to be the things that stood out to us. Chinese balloon. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So apparently there was a balloon coming from China. I think this happened early too, like January.
Yeah.
And it came from China to spy on us. It was like not even like hiding. It was just like folks thought it was a UFO, but it was just a big ass balloon just creeping all through the states, and everyone was like, "Huh? Is anyone gonna do anything about that?" Until Biden was like, "All right, let's shut that down." Either that, or he was taking his time to hit the button. You know how slow he is. By the way, it went through like 10 states. Probably. So it happened from January 28th to February 4th. That's a long time to be spied. They got all of our info. They had it so fast they had time to like replay it too. They were like, "Oh, what's going on over there in Arizona?" The next thing I want to talk about is the cop train. I know you just learned about this recently.
Yes.
So there was this little white lady, kind of looks like Morty from Rick and Morty. Is it Morty, the little kid, the boy?
Yeah.
Yeah, she kind of looked like Morty. She was dubbed the cop train girl. I don't know what her actual name is. But if you Google cop train girl, actually, I looked this up. There's two things that come up. It's her smiling face with a whole bunch of black dudes around her. And there's actually a lady that got stuck on a train track. Like the cop car was stuck on a train track. The cops left, and there was a lady still in the back seat.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
I don't know.
It was insane.
Yeah.
And she got hit.
And she got hit. And
she was pregnant too, I think.
I hope she gets all the money for that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that happened this year or last year. But
I don't know, but I do remember seeing that video. Yes.
So, like, if you type that in Google, those two stories come up at the same time.
Yeah, that story was crazy.
An actual serious event, and then this girl just, like, chunk and woo at the job. So, how many cops were involved? I feel like it was, like, 5 or 6 cops. And she was a married chick.
Yeah.
Married.
And she's still married.
And she's still married. The guy said, "I'm going to stand by my lady. No matter how much dicks went into her, I'm still going to stand by her." She
Good
just like,
for you, I guess.
Yeah.
Couldn't be me.
Couldn't. And the memes were hilarious. When it's time to get to work, she shuts the doors and like, "All right, let's get to work. Who's ready for their shift?" All right, let's move on. Yes.
That's what they be doing when they parked in places that you're like,
You're over here like
sketchy.
slowing down, but they're not paying attention to you. They got their eye on the other prize. You know what I'm saying? Ew, that's your taxpayers' dollars at work. Next thing I have on my list is Jada Pinkett Smith. Oh. What a man.
That's been like an all-year thing.
An all-year thing. So the slap happened last year, right? 2022?
Yeah, I think so.
So like the slap has become like an STD. It just won't go away. It's just like, we've kind of moved on from it. The memes were hilarious. We stopped talking about it for a while. Then out of nowhere, Jada's, she's selling her book. I mean, understand what Chris Rock got paid off of it. He did his stand-up at the end of 2022. As he should have. If anyone was to get paid off of this, it should have been Chris Rock.
Yeah.
Obviously. But Jada's like, "No, I want some of that Chris Rock money. So I'm gonna go on my book tour and I'm gonna do a tell-all." And it's like a whole bunch of stuff that nobody asked for. Let's talk about some of the things she did bring up, though. And her book was called Worthy. She confessed that she was a drug lord in the streets of Baltimore. Yeah.
Interesting.
Her and Will has been separated since 2016, which is that blew my mind because I could have sworn I've seen them on red carpets before, or like I think he went bungee jumping and she was there. I'm not saying that you can't do stuff with your family while you're not with somebody,
right?
But it still gave that effect that they were together. I feel like
But I mean, when you're like in the public eye,
yeah.
If you're like, oh, you know what, maybe I don't want all my business out there. I'll just keep up the charade. Just to avoid having to explain. Feel like having people ask me to explain what's going on.
That Jada and Will love that people had that goal of having at one time, and now we all know it was fake.
A facade.
At least for 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next thing we learned here was Chris Rock actually asked her out because he was under the assumption because of a rumor that they were separated.
Right.
So fair game, I think. I don't think this happened recently. This was like probably within that 10 years that they weren't together. They did do a movie, Madagascar, together.
Right.
3 of them. And so yeah, I don't. There's nothing wrong with asking someone you think is single out. Especially if you're not friends with this other person. I don't know if they were, but there was rumors they had issues before this.
Well, it kind of is avoidable because no one's making you put out a book spilling all your freaking secrets from the last 20 years of your life. No one's making you put out no one's making you do the red table talk. No one's making you do any of this stuff. Like you have a choice
Yeah.
to do or to not, do this stuff. So,
the Montgomery Brawl. This is probably my favorite thing that happened this year.
Hilarious.
I'll do a quick recap. This happened August of the 5th this year. And so I'll give a recap of this story. So apparently there's this ferry in Montgomery, Alabama, where I think it's a casino maybe, or if not, it's just like a day ferry or something where people go on and have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And on their way to dock, they noticed a small boat was in their spot that they're supposed to dock. That's their spot. And it was a boat full of privileged people.
Yeah, like a personal boat, not like a working boat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they were, the captain on the intercom was like, hey, can you move your boat? Move your boat. It got to about 45 minutes, they were saying, and they still would not move their boat. And then finally, the co-captain walked up to these people and told them to move their boat. And they still refused. So he's like, you know what, we can't, now it's just becoming an issue because there's people that need to go places, they're on the boats. I don't know how many people are on this boat, there's a lot of people on the boat.
Right.
So like, it can become, it's becoming a real issue. So he physically started moving the boat. Now they want to get angry and start coming up, hey, don't touch my boat, leave my boat alone. And he's like, yo, we're trying to park. You see this big ass boat right there? We're trying to bring it right here. We got to move it. Like, either you move it or I move it. That's just kind of what the vibe was. I didn't hear exactly what the altercation is, but if you watch the video, you pretty much can tell that's what's going on. And at that moment, a guy swings, and then the whole family starts jumping this man. And this man threw his hat in the air and said, all bets are off. We are fighting. So he's getting jumped by this privileged family again. They're probably drunk, and they don't want to move on anybody's accord, and they start jumping this poor man. And you just see people recording. You're like, yo, why isn't nobody helping? And then like clockwork, the boat finally docks. People start coming off this boat to this man's rescue. You see like people that were just there for just the time gang up on these people. You see a kid that works with them swimming in the water.
Yeah, he swims all the way there just to fight them.
I think they called him Aquaman. And then there's other people that come and they just start helping them. You see people getting pushed in the water. You see a guy with a chair, like it's WWE. I don't condone violence. I'm not even I have a lot of friends that like to watch fight videos. I don't even like watching those videos. But I do like when people get theirs. I thought this was the perfect example of karma happening. You were the jerk here. You kept your boat here, blocking a whole ferry. And then you decided to jump the person. It was like 4 or 5 on one person. I don't feel bad. And then everybody got arrested after that. I think the only person that got charged that was defending the guy was the one with the chair.
Yeah.
Understandable. You went a little too far.
I can't really let that one go.
Can't defend him. I understand, but you kind of went a little too far. But everybody else that pushed in the water, just helped with it, they are all free, good. Everybody else that was involved in that brawl, they got arrested. They have a business that that's probably gone now. But yeah, they did their justice on that one. I thought it was hilarious, and it kind of took a while to get to that justice. But just the fact that the internet did their thing was funny, and yeah, your thoughts on that though?
Yeah, no, it was very entertaining to watch for sure. It's just messed up. That poor guy, he's just trying to do his job, and people just making it hard.
And this is Alabama, so he claims there was racial things said. I don't know. I'm not gonna say there was because I didn't hear it. There probably was. I'm not. If racial things were said in Alabama,
if you have a family of white people jumping one black person, there's probably something said.
Yep, probably something said
in racial. Alabama.
But what makes this story even better, that besides the karma that happened to this family, is slaves were sold off of that dock at one time. So this was like a full circle moment. Like, you know, the ancestors were like, yeah, Birdman. You know, that's what's up. That's what's up. Get his ass. This is his ass. This is the submarine that imploded.
Oh.
The submarine that imploded. Oh, man, the memes on that one. That one had a lot of memes. Now, there's something about rich people when they do stuff and then something happens to them. People don't really care. I'm going to say that lives were lost, so I'm not going to laugh at that. I don't think that's funny. But why do you want to go see the Titanic? That is not made for human beings. That's off limits to us. Now, if you become a mermaid one day, go for it.
Crazy.
You know, we're not meant to do everything. So like, it's cool to break limits, but like, you also got to know like reality. And I don't think we're supposed to be going down to the Titanic. That thing sunk. You don't dig up graves. You know, let it rest in peace. But I think like 4 billionaires decided, hey, and apparently this ship, this submarine, did not take the proper protocol of doing this. Like it was,
it wasn't like made properly.
It wasn't made properly. It was inspected. I wouldn't do that. You know. I think there was a meme about them using it, looked like a PlayStation controller. Yeah. Weird.
It was a video game controller to control the ship. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it just seems like it was made off of Wish. It was not made for us. Yeah. And yeah, the search for that happened longer than I thought it would. I'm like, yo,
it took a long. It took what, like? Maybe 10 days, 2 weeks, or it took a long time.
Let me see if I have that written down.
It took a long time to find it.
It felt like a long time.
I think it took over a week. I think it was like 10 days or something. It's
to the point like if it didn't implode, they would have just died of hunger. Yeah, it was that long. Yeah. And I was just like, yo.
Because everyone was like, oh, we're counting down the minutes right now. Like, if something
they didn't have enough food
tragic
or water.
Didn't happen, they're done.
At the, cannibalism or something. I don't know. But like, I had this theory too, since they said that they were saying that they heard stuff, like knocking on the whatever. I was like, yo, maybe a big old sea monster ate them. You know, that is so deep down there, we don't even know what's down there. You know, it could have been a straight up Kraken that ate him. I don't know. But then finally got the news that it imploded. Not exploded, but imploded. Just like, phew. So it's kind of revealing to know that they didn't suffer. I kind of would probably prefer that over just suffocating or like dying,
drowning or something. Yeah, it would just been immediate.
So that's,
which is good, I guess, but I cannot even imagine.
But like, that's a better death than like what we thought was going on. Like,
I can't even imagine.
It's probably the worst way to go out is just down there in the water. It's terrible.
I mean, it's terrifying. I imagine down there anyway. Mm-hmm. I think it's terrifying to be in water that I don't know what's down there, even when I'm up on the surface of the water. Yeah. You know, like I can't even imagine being so down there that it's like just black. Hell. You know, like you're that far down, it's just darkness. You can't see anything except for the little light that's on the thing.
Yeah, the fish are evolved to have lights on their heads. That's how crazy it is.
I cannot even imagine one doing that anyway.
Nah, it ain't it.
But then also knowing like I wonder, like, was there like a time where they were like, yo, we're done before it happened?
I know there was people that pulled out.
Did it just stop working? Like,
all we know is that they lost communication with them, so they don't know what happened after that.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, that's just like me, like, brainstorming, like, I wonder what happened. Oh, like, did they know, like, oh shoot, we're done. Like, this is done. Like, before it happened.
The guy that was doing the tour guide was bullshitting.
It's terrifying.
Nothing to be alarmed of, folks. We just lost light. It'll come up any second. He was probably bullshitting them for a little bit. I mean, after about 2 or 3 hours, like, all right,
he's probably like, we're gonna die. We're freaking out. That's so scary. And I mean, I imagine that imploding is probably something that just like an explosion is just so instant that like you probably don't know.
Exactly.
Which is a good thing, I guess.
Yeah, it's better.
But I also imagine, like, okay, if you're that far down, like, was there like a point where like they reached where like they started like hearing shit, hearing things like little pops, little, like
probably
little dents, little like, oh, it stresses me out. That makes me so nervous to even think about.
It's just wild. And the ghost of the people that were in the Titanic just saw that thing just come down after it imploded. And just like, welcome. Welcome to the Titanic.
Join us on the staircase.
Exactly. So the next one, it's kind of something that's still ongoing, but in March, Jonathan Majors got arrested, and we're both fans of Jonathan Majors. He did a real good job in Lovecraft Country. I liked him in Creed 3. Is there anything else he was in that we enjoyed? I know he was in some other movies that I just haven't watched, but he's more of a dramatic actor.
Yeah.
I
can't think of any off the top, but there's definitely some other stuff we've seen with him for sure.
Ant-Man and the Wasp I thought was okay, but I thought his performance was amazing.
Yeah.
I think he does great in Loki as well. So I think he was a great actor, and like he looked like he was on his way to being up there with the next Denzel if he would have kept this momentum going. Don't look like it's going to happen anytime soon. Praying for a Cinderella, like an overcoming story, because Robert Downey Jr. is that guy. That's the poster person of that. So like, to me, he has that potential, but we'll share.
I do feel like it. Well, I mean, I guess you're gonna get there. But
yeah, let's talk about what actually happened. So in March, Majors was arrested for assault in Manhattan on his ex-girlfriend at the time, who nobody even knew he had a girlfriend. But apparently, this was a like an extra in Ant-Man and the Wasp, but he was dating for a little bit. I don't remember her name.
Didn't they know that he had a girlfriend? Isn't there pictures of them on the red carpet?
There is,
but they're not like they didn't know they were together.
Yeah. People,
they just thought like, since they were workers,
they weren't like out there like that, But like they were. There's pictures of them together, so it wasn't. They weren't hiding it, I guess. But so he got arrested for assault, and everybody just like didn't know what was going on, with the situation. So the news would come out like slowly by slowly. Like first you would hear that he assaulted her in a fight, and then you heard that she was assaulting him in a fight, and they were like, what's going on here? Then they said they had enough evidence to dismiss this, and then you're hearing, oh no, we got enough evidence to actually convince you, brother. So like we would hear this stuff like every other week, like the updates on this story. And in this time, the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, is freaking out because they put all their chips in this guy. He was supposed to be the next Thanos, and which is kind of a mistake on their part, because when they announced Josh Brolin was Thanos, this was after the Avengers movie, and so they would still do their own thing, but like have little like hints that he's coming. Mm-hmm. They did it differently with this guy. They're like, all right.
They came right out the gate with him.
Came right out the gate like, this is the next Thanos. Stay tuned. He's gonna be here. They were just centering it all around him. And yeah, big mistake, because now, as I'll get to in a second, they can't do that. So they're freaking out like, yo, what do we do here? Let's just wait. So they don't fire him immediately, as they shouldn't, because if they would have fired him immediately, like, yo, what the fuck was Ezra Miller doing? I would have been like,
yeah, and like Johnny Depp and stuff like that. Like, it was really messed up. I feel like that they like immediately were just like, nope. Like they immediately,
just wait.
They immediately got rid of the next Pirates movie and stuff like that. Like they just immediately got rid of him, which I don't think was fair. But.
Exactly. So I think, within fairness, that they did wait, and so. As they were waiting, Loki Season 2 came out, so he wasn't cut from anything. They did take him away from the marketing, but he was still involved in the project. But they waited to make any type of decision whether they keep him or not. So, also while this is happening, he was also accused by multiple people that he previously worked with for being abusive, like verbally, not physically or anything, but just like abusive and controlling. Honestly, I did hear a little bit of the tape at the trial. If I was to say one negative thing about Jonathan Majors from the tape I heard, he does kind of seem a little controlling. Like, just the way his demeanor in the conversation. He doesn't seem like a physically abusive person, though.
He like, to me, like, comes off as very, like...
He's a little full of himself.
Self-centered, yes.
He's a little full of himself.
Yes.
And as we'll get to... I got that conclusion. I'm sure you got the conclusion as well. When his ex-girlfriend was at a festival, came home drunk and high or whatever, and the way he's lecturing her, like, yo, I'm meant for big things. I'm changing the world. I'm here for my culture. I need a girl next to me that's like Coretta Scott King and that's like Michelle Obama. Immediately, everyone thinks that's funny because this is a white woman. You're asking physically to be a black woman. Now, I know what he meant by that, but it's just funny how it looks. He meant like, yo, I need someone by my side while I do the things for my culture. Now, when you take a step back and understand what he means by that, I get it, but then you start to think, bro, you're just an actor.
Yeah, it's very different. You're not
a civil rights leader. Yeah. So let's calm it down a little bit. Like, you know, if you want to be that in the future, cool. Like, you know, if that's your destination, a lot of actors become, you know, activists and stuff like that. But for now, like, let's just chill out, bro. You're not Martin Luther King. You're not Malcolm X. You're Kang from Marvel. But yeah, just the fact that he said that to a white woman, hilarious. Mm-hmm. If I was her, I would have busted out laughing. Now, you want me to be who? I mean, I could be Julia Roberts. I don't know about Michelle Obama. I could be Betty White. Yeah, like that. But yeah, so after that, remember that that stunt that everyone thought was fake, where these two kids were fighting? Like, so Jonathan Majors is gone for a while, and these two kids are fighting. They look like high school kids. They're fighting in this alley somewhere in L.A. And out of nowhere, Jonathan Majors just shows up and says, "Hey, kids, stop the fighting. That's not cool." And everyone immediately like, "Yo, that was set up. What is Jonathan Majors randomly fighting? You know, he's just trying to show people he's not violent or something."
Yeah, it was weird.
I don't know if that was fake or not, but it just looked very
It looked fake.
It was funny. Weird timing.
It's also hard to, like, I feel like whenever, like, trials and stuff like this happen and it includes actors, I feel like it's really hard for people to, like, take them seriously because they're like, this is your job.
Yeah, we don't know if you're lying to
you
us.
make millions in the last, you know, the most recent cases. These are people that make millions of dollars doing this. You know, they're not small actors. They're huge name actors.
They're technically professional liars.
Like,
honestly,
how do I know anything that you're saying is legit? How do I know that this is not a script that you haven't been rehearsing for months? Because this happened back in March and the thing didn't happen till August.
Yeah. Now,
best role you ever played.
Now, if that was scripted, terrible, bro. Now, if it was legit, I mean, props to you, but it's just the timing's weird.
Yeah.
So actually, yesterday, he was found guilty on. So he was being charged for 4 things. 2 of the things he got was not guilty, which was the major things, the physical stuff. Like, so that's actually good. He didn't get any felonies or nothing. The things he did get charged for were misdemeanors. What I think what was said was, like, he got charged for, like, accidentally hitting somebody. Like, if me and you are fighting over a phone, flips over, hits you in the head, I'm charged. I hurt you, not purposely, but I did hurt you. So it's like a misdemeanor. Could face up to a year. He doesn't have any priors. He's probably just going to have 6 months probation and have to pay a fine. So that's the situation that's wrapped up in the situation now. He is guilty of 2 things. Very small things, though. Like, if this was anybody else, this wouldn't even be news. This is like a very everyday arrest that happens all the time. People don't even lose their jobs half the time with this because sometimes it's all one misunderstanding. But the fact that this is Disney, they had to let him go. And I give props to Disney for waiting to make this decision, but I don't think they should have fired him. That's just my opinion. Now, I'm not, gonna say that they were wrong for doing it. It's their choice. It's not the worst decision to make because
at least they did better by him than they did by Johnny.
Exactly. They did better by him.
They screwed Johnny over.
They did wait to make that decision. Now, Marvel was in the tough decision of, do we recast this character or do we just move on with a different character? I kind of want them to just recast because I don't feel like the story's over.
Yeah, it would be weird, I feel. And I haven't even watched all, like, the shows and stuff, but just from what I know, I feel like it would be weird for them to, have gassed this up. Like, oh, this is where we're going. And now all of a sudden they had to, like, change it. And then, like, how do you explain him away? And then,
it just
like, there's just weird stuff.
It feels very incomplete. And, but this is the multiverse saga. Everything has variants. They just showed in the Spider-Man movie, No Way Home, that variants can look differently. You have 3 different actors playing Spider-Man. So it's kind of an easy way out. You can get John David Washington. You can get John Boyega, Denzel Washington. Anybody you want. Shoot, you can get Johnny Depp. Anybody can be Kang now if you want, technically. But on the other side, people are kind of like this, even regardless of who's playing Kang, this isn't really like catching as much as Thanos. Like, people are kind of bored with this.
Right.
So, do you move on to something like Doctor Doom or Galactus or any other, villain like that? We don't know, but that's what everybody's tuning in to see what's going to happen next. So we'll see. I don't want to trash Jonathan Majors too much because I think he's a great actor, and I think this has been one misunderstanding, and I don't think he should lose his. I don't think he should be canceled forever. I think he should work again. He's a great actor. But hopefully we can learn from this and just work on your approach and don't ask white women to be civil rights leaders' wives.
It's not really fair for him to be like, I need you to be this.
Right.
Like, okay, if she's not, ditch her and find someone else that is.
Yeah. Or even on her side, like, he's asking me to do the impossible. I can't do this. Let's,
Yeah, I mean,
you guys aren't right for each other. Don't just force it. Don't make it something that's not.
Like, if you have a certain, person in mind or a certain type of person in mind, then go find that type of person.
Yeah.
Don't force it. Like, this lady, she's not going to be Michelle. Like, it's just not going to happen.
Nah.
And if you're seeing signs, and obviously she's not going to be a black woman, but if you're seeing signs that this lady is not, putting out the type of persona or the type of behavior or the type of whatever it is that you want out of a person that you're in a relationship with.
Yeah.
Okay, then she's not for you then.
For sure.
Move on.
That girl's
and
still
find
on
someone
spring
else.
break, bro. Like, come on. Let her live.
If that's not what you want.
Exactly.
You don't have to have her. Mm-hmm. You're Jonathan Majors.
A lot of girls, when Creed 3 came out, a lot of girls were lusting over this guy. Like, come on, man.
So many people would, it's not like you can't find yourself somebody. Like,
absolutely.
You can definitely go find yourself somebody, and you could definitely go find yourself somebody that fits all the things that you want.
Yeah. Yeah, that's your criteria.
Unless you really are just an asshole, then I don't know. But, I don't know him, so.
There's a case on that, too. So, I heard who knows?
I don't know.
All right, moving on. This was not a good year for Diddy. Puff Daddy, Diddy, Brother Love, show some love, Brother Love. So, 2 things I'll talk about with Diddy. The first thing, we'll do 2 things right now. They solved Tupac's murder. Now, this was, if you lived in the LA area, or if you even follow hip hop, this was kind of not the biggest surprise because, people have heard things for years. But this guy was getting on interviews recently that was there the night that Tupac died. And his name was Keefe D. He's from Vegas, but he was rolling with Puff Daddy. And and Puff Daddy at the time, him and Biggie were having beef with Tupac and Suge Knight. So after the song, the most disrespectful song of all time, Hit 'Em Up, came out, very disrespectful. Here's some lyrics of that. My fofo makes sure all your kids don't go. That's why I fucked your bitch, you fat motherfucker. Those are lines in that song. Diddy's hearing that. He's getting pissed by the second. I think Biggie just brushed it off. He's like, whatever. But Diddy was not happy about that. So he goes to Keefe D, allegedly, because we don't know if this has actually happened, but this is the story. He goes to Keefe D, is like, hey man, Pac is over there tripping. I need you to handle that. Keefe D is like, I don't know about that. Then, later on, the day Tupac dies, or the week Tupac dies, Tupac and his crew beat up Keefe D's nephew, Orlando Anderson, and take his chain. So Keefe D looks at this situation like, yo, I want revenge for this guy beating up my nephew, and this person just offered me $1 million to kill this man. 2 wins right there. So apparently Keefe D, Orlando Anderson, and another guy they have that fight, that historic fight that happened in Vegas at the Tyson boxing match, and then they come around and they do a drive-by and kill Tupac. And Suge Knight was in the car as well. He got shot, but he survived. It's debatable who actually shot. People say Orlando Anderson did. Some people say the other guy did. Apparently, Keefe didn't shoot, but he was there in the car, which makes you guilty. Orlando Anderson is now dead. The other guy is now dead. Keefe D is still alive. Now he's doing interviews talking about it because he was accused of it a while ago, but he got like immunity to tell the story. So he felt after getting that immunity to tell the story that he just immune to it all. Apparently, legally, he was only immune that while he was being interviewed that question with the police. You're not immune for life. So that was the loophole right there. He's getting on Vlad TV. He's getting on the dialogue of the art of the dialogue. He's getting on all these platforms talking about, yeah, man, you know, we shot Tupac. He's just going on and on and on. And finally, everyone's like, get him.
Yeah. Gonna do anything about that?
So finally, Vegas is like, all right, I guess we'll pick him up after 20 plus years. Do you see how they do us? Like 20 plus years. So anyways, they arrest him, and now people are looking at Diddy like, you know, did you have something to do with it? This dude's saying that Diddy, yes, he paid me to do it. Of course, even if Diddy did, I don't think there's enough proof to convict him on that because they don't have enough proof to prove that. It's just his mouth, you know, word versus that. There's no paper trail to it.
Yeah.
So we don't know. That's just his word.
It's not like he gave him a check.
Exactly. He never got the money or anything like that. So that's an alleged thing. Now moving back to Diddy.
So he's saying that he told him he was going to pay him, didn't pay him though?
Didn't pay him. Yep. Yeah.
Diddy's lucky. If that's real, Diddy's lucky he didn't end up dead. What? How you gonna make me kill somebody and then not pay me?
It's funny you say that. It's not the worst thing to say that Diddy didn't pay somebody. Artists has been saying that for years. I can go through a whole list of people just accusing Diddy of not paying them money. So it's not the worst. You know, he's got a track record of doing that. But anyways, so that's one thing that Diddy was attached to. Speaking of him, moving on. Now there was this law going on in New York saying that you have X amount of time to file any type of lawsuit against a person, there's no limitations on the year or whatever. So Cassie, his ex-girlfriend he dated for a decade, said, you know what, I'm going to file a lawsuit against Diddy about a lot of things. He was accused of sexual assault. He was accused of physical abuse. She accused him of things like hiring male prostitutes to have sex with her while he watched. There's also been a rumor about him being gay for years. Kept her locked in a hotel while her bruises would heal, so she wouldn't, go outside. Dang. Had men following her and stuff like that, and also getting her addicted to drugs. Again, horrible. This is all alleged. So people started looking at it weird, like, yo, why are you doing this now? Obviously, it was because the law was like it was expiring. That's why she did it. But people are like, why now? As they do with a lot of people that bring up old stuff. But then the next day, like less than 24 hours later, Diddy settled with Cassie. I'm not saying he did it, but that looks terrible. If you settle with somebody after all these accusations and not even try to go to court to fight this back,
guilty.
Allegedly. It doesn't look good. That's the first thing everyone's like, wait a minute. That doesn't look good at all. That looks very guilty.
Didn't she say he blew up a car or something?
Blew up Kid Cudi's car. Yeah. She was dating Kid Cudi for a little bit and blew his car up. And Cudi's team did confirm that happened. Wow. This is a straight up movie.
Yeah.
So, and it's funny, Diddy 50's on Instagram every day trolling this man, because he hates Diddy. He trolls him all the time. But what sucks about this situation for him is when you settle with someone that quickly, everybody has an accusation now. And this is what he's going through now. Now he ain't saying shit and not settling with nobody. I think maybe 10 people after he settled with Cassie, he's just like, wait a minute, he assaulted me too. I don't know if it's real or not, but man, a lot of them are coming out. So that's one of many reasons why you shouldn't settle that quickly, even if you're guilty or not, because now everyone's like, oh, that's what happened to Michael. Michael settled with somebody, and then all of a sudden, all these people started saying, oh, I was abused. Mm-hmm. If you're giving out money like that, I can find a problem too.
Yeah.
I got drunk off Ciroc. I'm about to file me a lawsuit too. And 50 wants to do a documentary about all these accusations, kind of like the R. Kelly situation. So 50 is just, He's loving it.
Wow.
He's a very petty person.
He's going in.
All right, next on our list, man, a U.S. president was arrested. Donald Trump, the Orange Man. Trump and his goons were arrested multiple times in the year 2023. There was times he went to jail, got fingerprint arrested, and just walked out. Didn't get the picture. But there was one, he finally went somewhere, and this lady's like, nah, you gonna get this mugshot today. And boy, does he look like an evil, like, freaking maniacal, angry person in this. He was arrested for, like, multiple things about election fraud in the 2020 election.
Yeah.
And yeah, he looked like Dr. Evil. He looks pissed off. He's like, And, I don't have much to say about this. I know there's people in the comments right now. What about Hunter Biden? What about Hillary? I don't give a fuck about any of it. That's it. That's all I got to say. If you do fraud, you should go to jail. I don't.
Yeah.
What do you want me to say?
Doesn't matter who you are.
Doesn't matter who you are. Yes, look into any crimes on both sides. But like Biden, Trump, let's just talk politics. Biden, Trump. If these are the hills you want to die on, these two old men. These are guys in their late 70s or early 80s. If you want to die on these hills with these two men and just like, oh, what about him? What about him? And just like fight about it. Fight about it. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious that this man got arrested and has a mugshot. Sue me. Sue me for laughing. I know this is some of your gods. I don't care. It's hilarious. Sorry, I just had to get that out because, people are stupid. All right. Anyways, moving on. Do you remember the Carly Russell story? I know it's not a name you hear every day, but so
It sounds familiar.
So this lady faked her kidnapping.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I do remember that.
Carly Russell was found guilty, actually recently. She's 26 years old, and she filed a false police report saying that she saw a baby crawling on the highway. And she went to, she was on the phone with 911 while this happened, and she claimed she got kidnapped. Mm-hmm. And apparently this was all made up. Mm-hmm. And why she did this, I don't know. Even her boyfriend was like very confused about this situation. Hopefully he's not with her still.
Because she just up and like just vanished for a while. Yeah. People were thinking this girl's actually missing.
Yeah. Wasting everybody's time.
And then she comes back. Just kidding. And they're like...
Yeah, it's getting to a point like... we call it the Jussie Smollett situation.
Yeah.
Like it's or the, this scenario.
Jussie Smollett.
I'm gonna need, and I'm talking to my black folk right now. Everybody that's listening can listen to, but I'm mainly talking black people. Stop making false police reports, because
it doesn't help the people that are needing to make real police reports about real things because they don't believe you.
If you look this up, the statistics of especially black females that are kidnapped and put into sex trafficking all the time, and that are just like, remember last year the girl that went missing that we found out her boyfriend killed her. What was her name?
There's a lot of those.
It was the little pretty white girl. They went.
Oh, yeah.
Forgot her name.
I can remember his name, Brian Laundrie. Gabby Petito.
You see how quick they were. Gabby Petito, she's missing. That hour, the whole nation knew. They're just looking all over the place. They were questioning this boy, all this stuff. You see how quick they are. I'm going to need, it just sucks that black people do not get that same energy.
Anybody that's not white.
Anybody
because
that's not
white.
Because
they put out like a thing at the
white men don't get that energy. Only pretty white girls get that energy.
At the same time that the Gabby Petito stuff was going on, they were putting out things saying, yeah, well, there's also like 4 other hikers in this area that have gone missing that no one knows about.
They found people looking for her.
Yes.
They were looking solely for her, and they ended up finding more missing people. That's how crazy it is. You want to be blind to it, it is what it is.
None of those people were little white girls.
Exactly. They shut it down for pretty white women in America. They shut it down. And, I'm making it about race, but like they don't even give that energy to white men. That is what it is. They don't give it to white men. They don't give it to anybody that's not white either. So the fact that you're making false police reports really pisses me off. Like, they don't take this seriously anyway if you don't look like Gabby Petito. So I'm going to need you, Jussie Smollett, anyone else with that bullshit mentality of I'm going to fake something for attention to stop. Cut that shit out, man. Just use emergency services for real reasons. Now, if we're still not getting the attention we need, Yes, rally behind that. Like, give these people the same energy you would give Gabby Petito. Pissed me off about this story. That's all I had to do. Just stop with the capping. All right.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything else you want to say about that?
What did they? Do you know what they gave her?
I know that she was convicted recently, actually, because of it. She was a nursing student too.
That doesn't mean anything.
But I don't know what they gave her. But I do know she did get convicted, and she did admit to it too. She's not keeping up with the law. Yeah. So at least that's a little bit different than Jussie Smollett. Jussie's still saying it all happened, even though everybody involved basically confirmed it was fake.
Yeah.
But whatever. You want to die on that hill, whatever. All right. The next one is that motherfucker back there is not real. Airplane Karen. So, apparently there was a dispute on a plane about some AirPods.
Yeah.
This lady lost her AirPods. She was, I don't know if she was drunk or not, but she was accusing her next door person.
Her neighbor.
Yeah. That, of stealing it.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know what you're talking about, lady. Chill.
Yeah.
And so she starts making a fuss, and then she finally gets up and is like, you know what? Stop the plane! Stop the plane! I don't have my AirPods. I want off. Nobody here can go to their destination because I don't have my AirPods. Whatever. So they stopped the plane. Honestly, people look at that usually as a terrorist threat. But, again, pretty white woman. So whatever. She starts going down. She's like, look, y'all can do what you want, but I'm telling you right now. I am telling you right now that motherfucker back there is not real. And everybody looks back. They're looking for an alien. They're looking for a ghost. They're looking for a puppet. They don't know what she's talking about. There's nothing back there. Even the camera was like, what? Who?
Yeah, they're like, who?
And she just leaves. So...
Well, don't they escort her off? Don't they make her leave?
They make her leave, yes. And I don't think she got arrested, but I think she's just banned from that
airline or something. Yeah.
So she was recently interviewed, and she was very apologetic, actually. Very cool that a Karen took accountability for their actions. So props to her on that.
Yeah.
But she was like, look, I was not in the right state of mind. I did do a little bit too much on that, and I apologize. I'm very embarrassed by it. It just wasn't my best moment. Hey, look, people like that, I gotta respect. Look, we don't need to keep shaming people when they make mistakes. If they can, if she owns up to it, let her live, man.
Yeah, and she did talk about that too. She was like, it just sucks that like we live in a world now where like anytime anybody makes a mistake, it's right there. It's front page news. Yes. Like everybody knows about it, and that's something that you then have to deal with, like the shame of it. Which, not that you shouldn't be ashamed for your actions because terrible. You acted incredibly poorly.
A lot of people miss their flight because of you. Yes,
but still, like, okay, yes, I feel bad about it, but like, should I have to feel bad about it 5 years from now? Mm-hmm. Like, no. Yeah. I don't think so. But that's the world we live in, that like that is how it feels. Like that other situation with that we were talking about it the other day, it didn't happen this year, but it came out this year about that lady that was on the beach that got arrested for playing with like a sex toy or whatever on the beach, and there was a family that walked by that had kids, and so they called the cops and said, hey, I'm gonna need you to take care of this. They came, they arrested her, escorted her off, and then we found out, like, I think this year it happened, she ended up killing herself
because of the shame,
because of just how bad, like, all the shame and like just how out there it was. And it's like, why is this something that like everybody needs to know? This is like something that happened on like a little beach close to Savannah, Georgia. Like, why is this something that everybody needs to know?
Florida. Like, this is local newsworthy. Everybody shouldn't hear about this. Everybody shouldn't comment on it. Everyone shouldn't shame her and stuff like that. It was a mistake. Let people grow. She obviously probably had to
sex offenders.
She had to register as a sex offender. She had a lot of probably if she wasn't any type of, I doubt she was had any priors or anything like that, so she probably had to pay a large fine. Probably had to, do a day. It's just all that right there is draining. All that
just
is
mentally and emotionally, it's a lot.
But that's one big ball, and then you got another big ball of shame from people you don't know.
Yeah, and people probably that you do know.
Yeah.
And maybe even
friends, family, just like disowning you.
Whatever company and stuff she worked for, she was a realtor, so they might have let her go. Like, you have no idea. Yeah. Like the life that
one little mistake, cost all that.
And she was like, I didn't know anyone was here. I didn't know anyone was here. And I mean, yes, it's a public place. Like, you shouldn't be doing anything private in a public place for this reason. Yeah. Because anybody could be there at any moment. It doesn't matter how old, how young they are. Anybody could show up at any time. So you shouldn't be doing that. But she did seem very like, oh my God, I really didn't know.
Right.
Like, she did seem like very genuine. Right. And like she wasn't intentionally trying to do that in front of people, because there are definitely situations where people do intentionally do that stuff in front of people.
Exactly. Those people,
yes,
not
I get that.
Them, but like, yes, lock them up immediately. But again, situations like that, that's local law enforcement, your judge, the lawyers, whatever. Let them handle that. I shouldn't be hearing about this in Tampa, Florida, and I don't need an opinion, and I don't need to confront this person. I don't need to attack this person. Like, it's that's just the world we live in. We don't all need to be the pitchfork people. Like, if someone makes a mistake, let them deal with their punishment and let them grow from it.
The airplane, I can understand why more people would know about it, because once you're on an airplane, you're at minimum, you're national. Mm-hmm. You're flying from one place in the country to another. Yeah. So you're national at that point. At least if you're not international, depending on where you're going. Like, so I can understand why more people would know about that.
A lot of people are on edge on a plane too. Like, if somebody's standing up, wilding out like that and saying that motherfucker's not real, I'm probably gonna start tripping. Like, yo, what's going on?
You need to take care of this.
Yeah, you need to,
because a lot of people don't want to be there.
Exactly.
People are scared of it. People are nervous about it. People are worried about terrorist things. People are worried about the plane crashing. People are worried about, You're over here anything and everything.
This girl on shrooms or, edibles is tripping. Like, get her off this plane, man, because it's not, I don't want to ride with this.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that was
and
a
people
funny
trying
story.
to open doors on the planes and stuff like that. Yeah.
But overall, I thought that was a funny story. The way that was handled, that was hilarious. That motherfucker back there is not real. All right, I'm going to just go quickly through the rest of this. The government confirmed that UFOs are real. The government. So,
I mean, I don't know why it took so long to do that. Because just because it's a UFO doesn't mean anything. Exactly. It just means you don't know what it is.
Exactly.
It's flying in the sky.
It could be somebody that's, very high tech living in Georgia that made it. It could be Russia. It could be aliens. We don't know. But, they confirm, there are things out there we don't know what the heck it is, and it's just flying around. So, this is the proof. And do you believe it's aliens? Let us know in the comments. I can go both ways on it. I don't know. The actors and writers strike happened. We actually went to LA and saw some of it. Yeah, it took a lot. Yeah, so I think we're going to feel the repercussions of that next year. Because there's probably gonna be a little less movies, or people are gonna be playing catch up real quick to that. Lizzo was fat shaming people, allegedly. We don't know if that was true, but people that were her backup, people were like, yo, she was making fun of me for being chunky. Meanwhile, Lizzo's the biggest girl out there right now. So very weird to hear.
That is weird. I think they were also just talking about she just wasn't. Kind of like the Ellen situation. She just wasn't making a good environment as a worker. Yeah, you're over here
thinking that she portrays herself in the media this way, but then she's actually a bully. Yeah, I get what you're saying. There was a missing jet going around for a while. They had this jet flying autopilot, and then they had the stealth go on, and then they lost it. So it was flying around for a long time. Nobody knew where it was, and they're like, is this thing gonna crash into a building or something, or
another plane?
Or another plane? People are freaking out and they couldn't find it. It was like the submarine thing all over again, but at least there was nobody in it. But still, they're like, yo, this thing.
But you could kill.
You could kill. Luckily,
hundreds of people if it crashes into another plane or a building.
And they didn't have any second or what's it called? They didn't have any backup plans. They didn't have a remote control or anything. Let's fly this safely somewhere else, or take the stealth off. No, they just didn't know what to do. It ended up crashing somewhere where nobody was around. Thank God.
That doesn't even make any sense. How do you put on stealth and then not be able to take stealth off?
They didn't have a tracking device or nothing. It's so weird. I don't know.
It just doesn't make it make sense. It
was a very weird story. Yeah. And this, I can see people attacking us soon because we are just very vulnerable. We're losing jets. We're letting balloons fly crazy. It's fucking weird. Okay, next.
You know, and we're just like, you know what? UFOs are real, so let them fly. Let whatever do whatever.
Yeah, we just wildin'. Bud Light gets canceled for letting a transgender drink it.
What?
So apparently there was a transgender what's it called? Influencer that was drinking Bud Light.
And Bud Light.
Bud Light gave this influence a spotlight. They I think they put like a rainbow flag on their beer, and they were just like spotlighting this person drinking their beer. Like, oh, cool. And that didn't go well with people like Kid Rock, who decided they were going to get a machine gun and shoot up beer.
I remember that, yeah.
That'll show them. That'll show the beer.
You still bought my beer.
You still bought my beer. Look, man. Transgenders got to drink beer
still
too.
Still got my money.
Who cares? Like, I don't understand. Like,
what?
It's just
are transgenders only allowed to drink craft beer?
I'm saying, like, what? They're only allowed to have cocktails. Get it? I'm weird. Okay.
It's like, it's just dumb.
It's just dumb, and if you
just
care that much,
the things that people get upset about is just wild.
I don't drink Bud Light anyway, but like, it's just because of transgender.
Yeah, I mean, Bud Light's not even really good, but
yeah,
whatever.
But it's their beer. Anyways,
it's the cis white male beer.
So here's another one. Snoop Dogg quit smoking. Cap, liar. Okay, so very good marketing, by the way. Like, we all legit thought there was something wrong with Snoop.
Yeah, I was like, oh, he got cancer.
He got cancer.
Like, he's dying.
Been smoking his whole life.
I was like, something's wrong.
He's in his 50s. Maybe smoke is not the best for him. So we're like, you know what? And it seemed genuine the way he did it. And then found out later that he was advertising a little, not a grill, but like a fire.
It was like a fire pit, but like a smokeless fire pit.
A smokeless fire pit. Great marketing, by the way, but fuck you for the lie. Because I was really worried about you, bro. I don't know you personally, but I was like, yo, support Uncle Snoop. But yeah, great marketing. Got all the attention that he needed for that, and yeah, he's probably smoking and laughing his ass off right now. Got paid a lot of money. Last thing I wanted to talk. Two more things I want to talk about. This is the 50th year of hip hop. Before I talk about that, I just wanted to say there was a funny clip of Joe Biden talking about hip hop. LL Cool J was in the audience. And he goes, "You guys might know this artist, LLJ Cool J." Oh, I'm gonna put that clip in. Hilarious. 50th year of hip hop. Congratulations, hip hop. Who would have thought it would have took it this far? It's my favorite genre. You know, it's something I tap into all the time. It's part of me, I would say. So anything when it comes to like graffiti, when it comes to breakdancing, when it comes to DJing, when it comes to making a dope song, you know, delivery, all that stuff. Anything that is under the umbrella of hip hop. Congratulations for making it this far. Great job. Great. Not even just people that made it out their mama's house and made it out the ghetto or anything like that. And now they're billionaires, entrepreneurs, just doing great things for their family and just inspiring people daily and also making people shake their butts all over the world. There's not one wedding you can go to that doesn't have it. Even the Klan is wipe me down, you know, at their wedding. There's no way you can get away from hip hop. It's here to stay. It's a genre. Love it. Keep doing your thing. Here's to another 50 years.
I honestly didn't even see it. I was like writing it.
Not dirty at all. I'm looking at it.
Add more to the white towel.